Hello, Techies, and welcome to An English Haunting. My name's Viola. If you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. So this is a demo from the Steam Next Fest, and it is a point and click in which we have to investigate the most haunted mansion in 1907 England. So let's check this out. London, 1907. Thus, with this method, we can determine the time of death within a margin of error of 2 hours. You should ask Cooper. Me? Why not you? Hughes, Cooper. It would be interesting if you'd share your doubts with the class. Look what you achieved. Professor Moore. Is it true that you and Professor Ward are devoted to hunting ghosts? Aye, you have been badly informed. We are devoted to studying them, not hunting them. Oh, what? Wait. That's nonsense. Ghosts don't exist. Do you have any conclusive evidence that can substantiate that statement, Mr. Cooper? They're a myth, an invention of mankind to scare those of weak mind. Those of weak mind, eh? Very well. Let's see. How many of you believe in God? You can raise your hands. All of you? Well, perhaps you should be studying theology and not forensic medicine. You can lower your hands. I suppose you think the mere belief of him confirms his existence. Is there any sporting evidence? Any photographs? Have any of you seen him taking a stroll in Hyde Park? Has anyone talked to him? The Pope? Okay, let's set that witness aside for the moment. No one in history has been able to prove it. The only proof we have is faith, and that regrettably won't do. Look, gentlemen, neither I nor Professor Ward assert that ghosts exist. We're cautious with regards to that matter, even if we have reliable witnesses, and there are a large number of cases. Are those arguments enough to accept this as a fact? No. We would be falling into the same trap you fell into with respect to God. We investigate these claims with the best tool science has provided us. That is, the scientific method. A method I advise you to use before compulsively raising your hand to defend your beliefs. Don't think my father would agree with all this blasphemy. Your father agrees with the idea that students from a poorer class should never be allowed into a university, as well as agreeing to use child labor in his factories. So, with all due respect, Mr. Turner, you can take your father's opinion and come in. I'm sorry to interrupt, Patrick. It's quite alright. What do you need? Look, the dean wants to see you. Can't it wait? The lecture is almost over. It's a delicate matter, Patrick. Is it about Rose? No, it has nothing to do with Rose. What a relief, I was starting to worry. Talk to him, would you? I'll take care of the lecture. What were you teaching? The scientific method. Apparently these gentlemen don't get it yet. Noted. Well, gentlemen, the scientific method. One moment. What? Selection of the many championship sports trophies the university has won. I can see the polo trophy we won against Harvard in '84. I also remember that cup. We won it for cricket against Middlesex. Mr. Lee? Mr. Lee? Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was admiring the trophies. Did you know the university won the Greco-Roman Wrestling Championship in '89? I did not. I haven't won since. Such a pity. There are more trophies in the home. Why do I always find you in front of this cabinet? They're pretty, don't you think? Excuse me? The wrestling trophies. Ah, yes, I suppose they are. And such a point of pride for the university, right? Yes, of course. Can I inquire about your obsession with trophies? I want to win one. I mean, I want the university to win one in my discipline, Greco-Roman wrestling. What's preventing you from participating in a championship? I understand you're a good wrestler. Manager Taylor. He doesn't want to be embarrassed like in '96. What happened in '96? Oxford humiliated us. They defeated all our wrestlers. Manager Taylor doesn't want that to be repeated. And in his view, the most sensible thing to do is not to compete. Makes no sense, right? Especially if they have me. I'm the best wrestler the university has had in years. I might be able to convince the manager. I'd very much appreciate it. Tell him Oxford won't stand a chance against me. I'm big and relentless, and strong. You look strong, yes. Of course I do. The strongest in the university. Do you want to see it? Test me. There's no need, I trust you. Bring me a metal rod, I'll bend it for you. I don't have one, but don't worry. I'll do what I can to persuade Manager Taylor. Many thanks, Professor. Have a nice day. Gift from Raymond Baxter, former pupil and famous sculptor, represents a certain Celt deity celebrating the winter solstice. The board has threatened to retire this pagan figure several times, to the pupils' dismay. Every 21st of December, they fill the statue's bowl with whiskey and parade in front of it, paying their respects. Henry Carter, Dean, I don't want to go in yet because there's other stuff to do at sea. Macaulay, Nelson Ward, former chief coroner of Scotland Yard and one of the most distinguished figures in the faculty. Sir Philip Abercrombie, illustrious professor of organic chemistry and candidate for the Nobel Prize in 1903 for his work on brain connections. John Thomas Olivey, best surgeon in London Hospital, taught here between 1880 and 1890. When he retired, he donated huge quantities of medical material, which we still use today for internships. Mr. Price? Professor Moore? Studying? Yes. Well, no. I'm reading a treatise on medieval churches. And, let me see. My dear Gregory, I'm telling you the exact truth. I believe I'm now acquainted with the extremity of terror and repulsion which a man can endure without losing his mind. I'm sorry, Don't worry, Mr. Price. Don't be ashamed of reading Emmer James. He is a national treasure. Continue with your reading. Thank you, Professor Moore. What are you doing with the Professor Ward's portrait, Mr. Cook? Haven't you heard? Of course not. You've been shut up all day in that lecture room. Get inside and they'll bring you up to date. It's a scandal. A scandal? Dean is waiting for me in his office on this very floor. Darn it. Professor Moore. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dean Carter. Rector Williams, a pleasure. Good afternoon, Professor Moore. You can get a chair from the back, and that won't be necessary. This meeting will be brief. Explain the facts, Dean Carter. Look. This week, the university received a generous donation for the Psychic Investigations program run by you and Professor Ward. £5,000. That's amazing. It would be if not for a terrible event. All that money has disappeared from the Bank of England. What? We've demanded an explanation, and they've confirmed the money was withdrawn yesterday by your colleague. How is that? We wanted to speak with Professor Ward, but he didn't appear today for his lectures. Let's try to remain calm, gentlemen. The professor might simply be... We've been trying to locate him all day. He's vanished. He's run off with the money. It's an unprecedented scandal. Are you sure it was Professor Ward? Someone could have impersonated him. There are witnesses. And the signature with which the money was withdrawn is undoubtedly his. Lest we forget, his whereabouts are unknown. We believe in presumption of innocence and respect it, but in this case, I'm sorry, Professor Moore, it is the unvarnished truth. Who donated the money? We only know it was a group of intellectuals from London society. Nothing else. It appears they had no intention of making it public, and given the circumstances, they'd prefer to keep it that way. Why would he do that? That is exactly what we're wondering. How could he withdraw the money? He's just a teacher. He shouldn't be authorized. At one time, he combined his teaching job with the position of deputy treasurer. That was years ago. He resigned. Nevertheless, he was still registered at the Bank of London. I suspect he took advantage of that to commit this crime. Get to the point, Dean Carter. Yes. I'm sorry to tell you that as a result of this matter, the board is considering eliminating your metaphysic investigations department. But that can't be. It is. My predecessor authorized this department because of the immaculate career of Professor Ward. Sir Archibald Ellsworth would roll over in his grave if he knew of this infamy. Surely you didn't presume to hope we'd keep this nonsense going after what happened, did you? I understand there's discomfort with Professor Ward, but I'm part of the department too. It isn't fair that I should be blamed for the acts of which I'm not responsible. We know Patrick, but Patrick? You mean Professor Moore. And I would beseech you not to challenge the board. However, as a courtesy to you, we wish your exit from the department to be as... Stop with this rubbish, Dean Carter. You have 72 hours to prove that your ghost exists. If you don't present us with material proof by that deadline, forget about your department. 72 hours? That's not time enough to prove what no one has ever proven throughout the entire history of mankind. That's your problem. And express your thanks to Dean Carter. He's the one who proposed it. If it were up to me, I would break up that circus right now with my own hands. We're the laughingstock of every university in the United Kingdom. Let them laugh all they want, Vice Chancellor Williams. They only display their ignorance. You want some advice? Forget about those ghost fantasies and focus on your work as a teacher. You're the best teacher of forensic medicine in all London. Focus on your work, for God's sake. This is a serious institution. Superstition has no place here, and neither do your progressive ideas. Are you aware that we have received complaints from some students' fathers because of your radical ideas? What's wrong with being progressive? Isn't it part of the university's motto? Knowledge, improvement, progress. Don't be a wise arse with me. And remember who you're talking to. 72 hours, Professor Moore. Prepare yourself to say goodbye to a fantasy that never had any place in an institute as repeatable as this one. 72 hours. 72 hours, Henry? It's humiliating. Why didn't they just close the department immediately? I have some more bad news to tell you. Really? There's more? Your department has been sealed. You won't be able to use any of the resources inside. Damn it, Henry. Couldn't you? I can't. If someone sees you there, they'll know it was me who conceded. That would put me in an awkward situation. The board is treating this matter very seriously. I don't want my position to be jeopardized. I beg you to understand. Yes, I do. I didn't mean to put you in a predicament. I'm sorry. I know the search for the great beyond is your life, but I'm sure adversity will stretch your intellect even further. I don't know how, but try to find proof, please. If it's strong enough, I'll show it to the board, and they'll be forced to keep the department open. Professor Ward is still in London. It's the same thing I want to know. Sorry about the popping. Somebody decided to visit. One's in the first. I'm part of the second. What? Ghost, Reality, or Myth by Henry Carter. Does William know you wrote this one? Oh yes. He even read it. Has he? Well, actually, one of the prologues. Then he gave me a lecture with more words than are in the books. Jewel of Seven Stars by Bram Stoker. Great God Pen by Arthur Mecken. Glass in a Glass Darkly by Joseph Sheridan Lefan. Williams would be angry if he saw you devoted time to these readings while working. These books? I just received an order from that new library near the London Archaeological Society. You know it? No. You should see for yourself. There are some genuine jewels. I'll do that. What kind of proof do you need? The tangible kind, of course. Something so conclusive that it would convince the ignoramus misses on the board to reconsider their beliefs. What a genius, huh? Who? Williams, yes. You know, he's never agreed with the university being involved in supernatural matters. Even if they're studied through science. What happened with Professor Ward was the perfect excuse to close down the department, don't you think? To him, it was like manna from heaven. It's what he's been waiting for since the beginning. I have no doubt about that. Williams is an old-school teacher, quite literally. His closed mind belongs to the last century. Forget about him, focus on searching for proof of supernatural activity. I'll try to keep him at bay as best I can. I still don't believe what Professor Ward did. Indeed. I'm still processing it myself, but the evidence is unequivocal, Patrick. I'll see what I can find. Time is of the essence. Good luck. I won't be able to prove the great beyond exists in such a short time without the professor's help. I need to find him. Maybe I can discover something that will help me find him at his home on Dorset Street. Mr. Cook, yes? Did they order you to remove the portrait of Professor Ward? What do you think? I think yes. Exactly. Who ordered it? Who do you think? Vice Chancellor Williams? Exactly. Do you need help? I see you're finding it hard to remove a simple portrait. Do you think old Cook isn't smart enough to take down a picture? Of course not. Exactly. Wait a moment. Does that mean I am or am not? You're smart enough to take down a portrait. Ah, good. Some genius thought it would be better to attach the paintings with glue instead of a pair of hook screws. In his defense, I'll say that not for anything in the world would I have suspected one of these illustrious professors was a filthy thief. You've already been informed, have you? Sadly. Who would have thought, huh? Though it's not like it comes as a total surprise frequenting the places he did, but I will manage to take down this portrait with no tool. One only needs to know how to apply force. Thus said Pythagoras, give me a place to stand and I shall move the world. That was Archimedes. You don't need to correct me. I'm not one of your pupils. What places did Professor Ward frequent? A pub, for one, in the East End. The Red Lion. Someone of his stature visiting such establishment. How embarrassing. And in the company of a tart. One moment, what tart? Courtesan, I guess. They seemed quite close. She's surely his accomplice. How do you know that? Rumors travel as fast as bad news. I need to find that woman. She might know where I can find Professor Ward. If you find her, give her to the police. I already told you, she surely has something to do with the money theft. You entirely certain you don't need any help with the portrait? You won't need to help you marking exams? There's no need to. Exactly. Carry on. Bad news, right? Worse. The board is starting to close down the metapsychic investigation, investigations department if I don't present irrefutable proof within 72 hours. Proof of what? Of existence of the great beyond. Damn idiots. That's an impossible time frame. How dare they? That despicable Williams will end up getting what he wants. What do you think of what Professor Ward did? Are you asking me if I believe he's innocent? Is he? I think neither of us is answering a single question. I don't know, Patrick. Nelson Ward is famous for being eccentric and impulsive. But that, of course, doesn't make him a miscreant. So do you think he's innocent? The evidence of the crime is unequivocal, though simultaneously I believe that if he committed such misconduct, he must have had a good reason, not just a financial one. What reason? I cannot begin to fathom. I only hope that this makes some sense. Have you seen any ghosts lately? God willing, this would be easy, right? How long has the psychic investigations department been running? 3? 4 years? 4. And they want to solve a great mystery of life after death within 72 hours. They neither want to nor intend to. If I have been given that time frame, it is because Henry interceded. If only you could succeed. I'd like to see the faces of those decrepit geezers when you show them undeniable proof. I don't think I knew Professor Ward well enough. We've had a very close relationship, but it was purely professional. I don't know a single thing about his life apart from him being the chief coroner of Scotland Yard before becoming a teacher. If I had taken even a mild interest in him, I might have detected signs of what he would do. Don't punish yourself with that, Patrick. Nelson was very reserved. I doubt anyone in the faculty really got to know him. I don't know how I can face this research against the clock. I don't want to be untactful, but that's an endeavor doomed to fail. I mean, to this day, no one has been able to find any conclusive evidence of the existence of the great beyond. Perhaps in the future we could resolve the matter, but not in such a short time. I need to find the professor. I can't do this alone. We were a team. How about asking for help from the British Society of Paranormal Studies? I doubt they would assist. Neither the professor nor I are welcome there. Because of that damned article? What about Rick? He always supported you, and he could be a valuable ally in this quest. Charles? He's not in London at the moment. No? Damn. Any ideas that might help my research? Now that I think about it, Nelson mentioned having found a place worth investigating. Do you remember where it could be? I think it was located in central London. A house, maybe? I don't recall. I was having a busy day when he told me about it, and I didn't pay enough attention. I'm sorry, and I'm not helping. Not to worry. Thank you for always supporting me. I know of 2 people who could prove the existence of the great beyond. One of them is Nelson, you are the other. So you shall always have my support in everything you do. I should get going. If I can do anything for you, I understand, Frank. I appreciate it. First 4 drawers are full of anatomy prints. The rest are intended for school materials. believe it's time to get rid of this old eraser. And so into my inventory it goes. The one on top is Atlas of Human Anatomy. I use it to illustrate my lectures. The one on the bottom is The Empty House and Other Ghost Stories. It serves me to help me evade them. Little flasks and test tubes. What is a blast of sulfuric acid doing here? It should be in the lab. You need to be careful handling these anatomical skeletons because they're very fragile. That's it. Room 4. So you're a friend of Professor Ward? Exactly, and he's Spanish, sadly. And why do you want to examine his room? Are you from Scotland Yard? No, I'm a professor such as he. I only want to have a look to see if there's anything that might enlighten me to his whereabouts. That makes sense. When was the last time you saw him? I know he went out last evening. I was in bed, but I heard his footsteps on the stairs. Haven't you seen him since then? No, sir. Did you notice anything strange about him? Of course I noticed. But not only yesterday, always. He's a strange man, though a very polite one. How I wish the rest of my tenants were as courteous as him. Why is the corridor so dark? The electric company convinced me to install this new light system in the house. They didn't tell me the price would double compared to gaslight. That's what progress means, you know? Progress for the usual suspects, those in power. I've told the tenants not to use the corridor light unless they want my bills to start affecting their rent. It's curious that he lived here. I mean, his salary was high enough to afford him a better place than this hovel? Is that what you wanted to say? I don't mean to offend you, Miss Dawson. No, you would be right. This is a hovel. Though it's the classiest hovel in all of East End. And with the biggest rooms for 4 blocks. Would you do me the kindness of lending me the key to the room? I don't have it. How was that? Professor Ward was a bit forgetful. He asked for my copy of the key in case he lost his. It wouldn't be the first time that happened. So he's got 2 keys, and me none. That's it. How can I get into his room? You can wait for the locksmith to come tomorrow. I'm afraid I don't have that much time. Or you can try to open the door yourself. I won't complain. But please try not to break it. I'll be downstairs if you need me. Closed. Can't probably see the number on the plaque, but I'd say it's 4. Can't read anything. Barely any light. Can't discern. Okay. I see where we're going here. There's something inside the lamp. Daisies. Nothing inside the vent. The rules of the house. Rent is paid the first day of each month. Okay. Let's turn this off. Not Professor Ward's room. How am I supposed to... Oh, wait. I could use the scuttle arm to carefully remove the crystal from the lamp. Darn, it's not long enough. Maybe a little jump will help? Oh. What was that? What's that noise? Noise? What noise? Oh, I accidentally broke the lamp. No, I heard nothing. I suppose it came from room number 3. Yes, I think it came from there. Well, I'll have a talk to Mr. Blodge. He's usually quite noisy. Here. There's a key here. Oh. I'll pick up the broken crystal. I don't want to have to explain it to the landlady. Where can I hide the criminal evidence? Ah. Nothing to see here. I think the professor would rest better under a watchful eye of Darwin than under Jesus. The professor is an atheist, so I gather that crucifix was already here when he arrived. Shoot. The street is full of tramps and drunkards. The professor felt more comfortable among them than among his colleagues. There's a notebook on the desk. It's discouraging to discover that all the places worth investigating were, in the end, either frauds or a waste of time. However, I found a location that, if my inquiries are correct, could afford a unique opportunity for me and my colleague, Professor Moore. It is an old, impressive building located at 34 Benwell Street. Its original owner was Thomas Highmore, a widower philanthropist who lived in the house during the early years of last century. After his death, his heirs rented the house to several tenants. One of them, Frederick Price, reported strange blows coming from the basement to the police. Perhaps an officer corroborated the facts, to which he added, as is stated in his report, that several objects in the room started to slowly move without human intervention. A police report that confirms unexplained supernatural phenomena. Contrary to the account of a normal witness, which is always an act of faith to consider believable, this changes everything. No police officer of sound mind would cast doubt on his professionalism by falsely signing a report such as this. So we can be sure this isn't an account we can accept, thus a very valuable one. Terrified, the Prices left the house 2 months later. Their place was taken by Benjamin Jones. By searching through the documents of the estate agency that managed the property, I found a report stating that the tenant abandoned the house 4 weeks later due to constant, unspecified occurrences in the basement. In my investigation, I found 2 other cases with that basement as the epicenter of supernatural activity, but I have yet to verify them. I still haven't informed Patrick about this. We could be dealing with another dead end, and if someone was to waste his time with this, I'd rather it be me. My instinct, though, tells me 34 Benwell Street is the place we've been dreaming of all these years. 34 Benwell Street. A lot of documents, notebooks, should check them. Might contain clues about its whereabouts. This will take me some time. There's nothing in them that reveals where the professor is. That junk box stands out. Let's see what's in it. Copper wire reel that may come in handy. Well, it's too rusty. There's an old oil lamp. I'll take it. It's a map of central London where the professor has marked several places worth investigating. There's a red circle around one of them. It must be 34 Benwell Street. am definitely going to be adding this to my wish list. I love the styling, I love the story, and it looks to be an interesting one. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to keep up to date on all the videos, and remember to free the feral wildflower in you. Bye bye!